Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of 5 Minute Gaming News, the show that may or may not be 5 minutes. Today in the news, it's Final Fantasy VII Day. What does that mean exactly? Well, in Japan, the 31st of January has officially been named Final Fantasy VII Day in honor of the game's release on this day in 1997. What can one do to celebrate, you may ask? Well, there's music playlists now for every character. Even Sephiroth has one for when you want to be broody and have mommy issues. It looks like you can also power wash Midgar with Power Wash Simulator. I guess that's coming soon and is actually pretty funny. And then the wildest one, they're remaking a scene with Legos. And the choice of what to be made is up to us. And one of those choices is the honeybee. And if I don't see Lego Cloud in a Lego dress with half-naked Lego ladies around him, then what is even the point of Lego? And a happy Final Fantasy VII Day to all. And to all, some more news. The Sony PSVR 2 is so close to release, but there's some rumblings online that the reception hasn't been what they expected, with Bloomberg citing sources that they had previously aimed to ship about 2 million units, but following disappointing pre-order figures, they've halved that to 1 million. Now, this could have something to do with the fact that, VR's not for everyone. And PlayStation 5s are hard to get a hold of, and let's be honest, making a PSVR 2 that is not backwards compatible with PSVR 1 rubs some players the wrong way. But Sony tells GamesIndustry.biz that it's not cutting any production numbers. The firm claimed that it's seeing enthusiasm from PlayStation fans for the upcoming launch, which includes more than 30 titles such as Gran Turismo 7, Horizon Call of the Mountains, and Resident Evil Village. So it's kind of a PR response, right? But they are denying it, and even if it's just spin and it's really still a million is a lot. And, it's about the games that come out with it and what people want to play. And so that's the question. What is going to be the big draw to get people after the PSVR 2 comes out on the 22nd? What's going to get people to play it? And I am looking forward to that answer. In other news, it wouldn't be a day in gaming without another delay. This time, it's for Star Wars Jedi Survivor, pushed back from March 17th to April 28th. Essentially, according to the post, they want to give the team time to polish the game. So they're going to push it back. And that's fine with me. Delays with achievable goals are totally okay. Saying you're going to polish it or take a few weeks to work out bugs, that's fine. Take a month or 2 months or 5 months, whatever. But, it becomes an issue when it's like, we're delaying to next year. And then the year old, and then we're going to delay it again. Then it becomes a problem where you're like, maybe this game ain't good. So I have no doubt we'll be fine. And Star Wars fans can wait a month. And finally, in news that I think we all knew, but is definitely confirmed now, E3 2023 running once again in early July will no longer be featuring Sony or Nintendo, who likely will do some sort of streaming show for fans to get them hype about upcoming games. According to Video Game Chronicle's publishing sources, with knowledge of Nintendo's plans, the company has decided to skip E3 2023, the event's first physical show in 4 years, because it feels it has fewer major releases than usual ready to show, and which would justify significant event space. And what makes that Nintendo news big is that they were the only one of the big three there in 2019. Xbox and Sony were not present. It probably had a lot to do with Reggie's relationship with Jeff Keighley and, just friendships in the industry. I would imagine, but I'm probably very wrong. It just seems like it, right? And when Reggie was gone, there's no reason to go back. But also, it's been a while. Maybe they've seen the last few years and realized they don't really need E3. While Sony, who wasn't there in 2019, is not going to be there this year as well, they do put on a pretty good show. They just rattle off trailers, which, to be honest, is what I love. Xbox, its plans are a little more complicated. They're going to be in the area, and I guess I understand that because they have a physical event space right next door, and they might as well just do it there, and they've done that in the past. So yeah, it's definitely a blow for E3, but having been there many, many, many times, having experienced it, I gotta be honest, if E3 can bring in all the developers, right? Like all the different big developers, that's kind of the reason to go. As much as I love Nintendo and Xbox and Sony, their areas were just kind of additional ways to play games that were already on the floor. So a great example is you would see a new game coming out, and the dev team or the studio making it would have their own booth. And then you'd go over to the Xbox area, and it'd be the exact same game with the, except it's Xbox trying to sell you on buying it on Xbox. Really, only Nintendo kind of had a reason to be there because it was its own thing. They have their own games. Other than that, everything else was there were very few first party things, right? It was mostly like, oh, I could go to the Square Enix booth and play Final Fantasy VII Remake, or I could go to the Sony booth and check out Final Fantasy VII. But it's either way, I'm just getting the same experience. I have a feeling most of the team running this now and the Reed Pop crew, they probably understand that, and so they're just not too stressed about it. But I would imagine those three companies bring in a lot of money, so we shall see. Speaking of seeing, you can see me and Alex and Davis this March, at the end of March, at WASD in London. We would love for you to come out. We're going to do some Scary Game Squad stuff. We're going to host some shows during the day, and we'll just be like chilling in London. So for more information, link down below. That is it for me. I'll see you all tomorrow for another episode of 5 Minute Gaming News.